And this is the FCC, the magnificent beast that prowls the Great Plains of the Beltway of Washington. It, like all great Beltway agencies, it too is infested with the parasites of the Beltway, creatures that gnaw at the innards of all great Beltway institutions. Conceived in gentler days to reduce the predation on citizens of a vast country by corporate lions and carpetbaggers, which render them weak and blooded by the parasites of the Beltway. The lobbyists, like all great creatures of the Beltway, men of goodwill have given this beast the colossal power to regulate the lives of citizens and to provide them with the basic food of life, broadband, a food which enriches all who live within the Beltway and far beyond. But the parasite denizens of the Beltway infect everyone within 64 miles of the Beltway with subtle prods and hundreds of millions of dollars, food, as it were, enough for any federal agency to deviate from its task. In a feeding frenzy much like the spawning grunion of the coastal waters of Virginia, federal agencies are like infected lions of the plains of the Serengeti, seeking sustenance through consuming pork passed down from the vast coffers of the U.S. Congress, providing almost unlimited resources to create new agencies and feed the parasite lobbyists. Here, in the vessels of the FCC's domain, we can see how the parasites feed upon the agency, promising great riches for those who retire, in exchange for feasting on the brains of this vast organism. And now, as the FCC stocks its prey of the unserved and underserved households within its domain, we can see the work of the parasite, pulling great chunks of the skull from the beast, crushing the mental capacity of the organism. It is a frenzy of self-consumption, like a great phoenix dashing itself into its own cremation without a match to light the pyre and be reborn again. As this noble beast thrashes itself to death within the Beltway, far afield, we see the benefactors of this great beast striving to thrive in their parched and sterile regions beyond the Beltway, hoping and waiting for guidance from the dying beast to guide them in their great goal of gifting broadband to their local herds. But as a great creature dies in its veiled self-immolation, one wonders how the broadband directors of many lands beyond the Beltway feed their local herds with the promised broadband denied by the foundering, parasitically distraught months of the FCC. As the giant dies under the weight of its own self-consumption, these distant herds of broadband directors find themselves alone, with no understanding of what has happened, and each must create their own herd, their own rules, and find their own path, to live without the guidance of the great dying beast. Many will perish in the wilderness, but some few will survive and bring their herds into the digital age despite the thrashing of their Beltway leader in its last convulsive death rattle. Those lucky few who have sought and found freedom from the Beltway parasites will bring forth new generations to replenish their herds as the cycle of life continues.